see if it's recording. It should be. Okay, there's the red light. Okay, peace and grand rising to everybody. Everyone on here, West Coast, and great afternoon to all my friends on the East. I am Joy Rosa with Earthworks Acupuncture, and we have a very special guest today, Professor Joy Mayat of Kemetic Arts 24 and Maatic Flow Yoga. And Joy is also a facilitator and advocate of racial equity in healing and health services for Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Joy, I am so excited to share in this double joy day. Welcome.
I know. Government, yes.
So,
for inviting me. Thank you.
Yeah. So when and where did you begin with your journey into your own healing? Like, tell us about yourself and just your journey.
Yes. So it was about, I would say about 2005, 2006. I went through a transition in my marriage and my career, where I left a lot of that, left the military, left my marriage, went back home. And I started to experience different forms of depression, anxiety, PTSD, just coming up all at once with all these transitions, all the things that I experienced in my relationship and also in my experience in the military. And I really didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what I was experiencing in my body. So I handled it the best way I knew how, which was to like kind of fester in the anger and also do a lot of drinking, do a lot of eating my emotions and things like that.
Yeah.
In the course of that, I got really sick. I got really sick mentally as well as physically. My body got sick. I started to get a lot of infections in my body. I gained a lot of weight. And then mentally, emotionally, I was having panic attacks. Didn't know what they were. When I was in the military, I was going back and forth, trying to figure out what was going on with my heart. I always got turned away and sent back home with ibuprofen. So it wasn't until I had.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. But can you repeat that because we had a glitch? So.
Okay. Yes, I was experiencing panic attacks. So when I was in the military, I would always get sent home with ibuprofen and no explanation about what was going on in my body. So it wasn't until I talked to my mother where she was like, you're experiencing panic attacks. That's what you're experiencing. And she linked me with a friend of hers who was also a health teacher. And at this time, a friend of mine was going through this vegan vegetarian journey as well. So we decided to meet with this woman and who has studied under Dr. Sebi and some of his cohorts. And so I went on this journey of health and wellness. I started to become vegan, and I did a lot of research and a lot of studying with certain practitioners about how to heal the body. And that took about probably about a year or two after that, after I had really experiencing a lot of that. I was also graduating and teaching, facilitating as a counselor for substance abuse. So I was kind of experimenting with my groups there when I started to experiment with yoga. I experiment with different forms of yoga. We would get videos and we would do some of those things together. So I recognized how it was really helpful for them as well as it was for me to deal with some of the cravings they were experiencing, some of the emotional and mental stuff that was going on. So it was suggested that I hold like wellness groups in that space. So that's when I started to combine the food, the juicing, and the yoga and movement. Yeah. It wasn't until like 2013, 2014 where I actually found Kemetic yoga. It was like this stream of Black practitioners on Instagram practicing different forms of yoga. And I found Ona Hawk, who was like the face of Kemetic yoga at that time. Our teacher, Professor Yasir, was, kind of behind the scenes at the moment, but he was the really holding space for all of us as teachers. And she I saw her and I signed up immediately. I was like, this resonates with who I am, who I am in my body, who I am as a Black woman, who I am in this with my ancestry, all of that. So with that, it propelled my healing. It brought everything together, not just my physical wellness, but also my spiritual path and destiny to really share this in the most wholeness of ways that I can. So
That's amazing. I should. So how were Kemetic science, and yoga and crafting influenced, or not influenced, but like came from African traditional religious principles?
mhm,
You kind of,
mhm.
for people who are just hearing this for the first time, like Metu Neter books, and yeah, can you speak a little?
Yeah. I always share, like in my workshops and classes, that the Kemetic spirituality, Kemetic sciences were the original sciences. It's ancient Egypt. Kemetic is ancient Egypt. So all of the Greek philosophies and everything that came thereafter was actually originated from the Kemetic sciences. So in those sciences, it was more than just the physical sciences. It was also the arts, which combined, and they really correlated everything with the cosmology of the planets, all of the pantheons of the different deities and gods, and everything was just very, very cohesive. Everything correlated together in a sense. So if you were talking about, if you went to a practitioner at that time and a set at the feet of a sage at that time, you wanted to address something that was going on in your body, they would start to analyze, okay, what is going on in your birth, the stars alignment, all of these different things, what is going on in your environment that's happening, what is some of the foods that's happening, that's coming up that you're consuming, what is your path. I mean, it was just um, a whole chart, a whole practice in which they developed and was able to give to others. So through that arts is how I believe it gives us the most full perspective of life. We're not just dealing with one aspect. We're able to actually make changes and be in harmony with the greater forces of everything.
Yes, you are not separate from your universe and the elements.
Exactly.
In on that. So,
Mhm.
can you tell us a little bit about who is Mayat? And
Yes.
yeah, just go ahead, free flow talk about.
Mayat is the goddess who keeps the natural order and balance in the universe. So through Mayat has these scales in which she balances the heart against the feather, which basically resembles any choices that we make. Actually has certain consequences. It's not just gonna imbalance our scales, but it also affects the order and everything else that is around us. So when people think about, oh, the choices that I make aren't going to affect anything else, we have to think about the whole picture, because we are all, like you said, we are all connected to this universe. Yes, we might just be one dot on the map, but that dot is connected to everything else. So Mayat has a set of principles in which we are to live by. And in these principles, actually, like the Ten Commandments was taken from these principles and different other principles in religious studies. But in these principles, it's just basic morals and basic ideas and how to keep that harmony. So it's things like I give love in all forms. So that's just, I'm just going to continue to be love, whether it's to this person, they need some food. If it's this person, they need compassion, adapting the boundaries in different aspects. And there's several other different principles in there that are just basic guidelines in how we can maintain the harmony, not only in ourselves, but in the world, in our communities, and so forth.
That's amazing. So, if folks don't know, there's 42 laws.
Yes, it's 42. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just to reiterate that this is living life in accordance with some of the highest principles, justice, order, harmony. So why is Mayat important to you and your work as a practitioner?
Yeah, Mayat was I don't know, she just came to me through this practice. I just recognized that my given name for one is joy. So through that, I've always been told through my birth and my the conception of how I got here was a struggle. So I was always told that I was going to have to fight for that joy, which is why the second part of my name is Victoria. So it was just so when I came into the spiritual path, Mayat kind of definitely brought order into that and tried to, and it was through my lifestyle, my practices, and how I can actually live in joy and be in joy through these principles. So yeah, she is the major source of how I make decisions in my life in order to maintain my joy. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So I'm just so excited. I love that you are this holistic practitioner, and you're currently in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yes, yes.
That is where I just came from before I moved out west. And
Yes, we just missed each other.
we made it. So I wanted to talk to you about another aspect of your practice. It's 7-day cleanses and juicing.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yes, I have my book here.
yes.
Yes.
Copy of this book, and I'm gonna get your information.
Yes.
And so I wanted to talk about, because right now it's just a really uncertain time, and there's a lot of foods kind of coming off of the shelves quickly, lots of produce. No matter what your practices are, people are just now starting to contemplate healing with whole foods. I think.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing that half of these cases with COVID-19 have a lot of digestive issues. That's like one of the symptoms. And so can you talk a little bit about your juicing first? And then I have another question for you.
Yes, yes, yes. So the juicing, like the recipes, the reason why I broke down like these booklets into just 7-day guidelines is because I recognize that sometimes the information that we get, especially through these streams of the internet, can be very overwhelming. And because living in the principles of Mayat is to actually take the things that we learn step by step and simplify them as much as possible so that we can implement them into our lives. So the juices in here are about 3 to 4 or 5 different ingredients that we can use. Very simple. This one that I have today is the simple lemon, ginger, apple, which is a recipe in this book, and I also added basil to this one as well. And this helps to deal with digestion, any nausea, and also it helps to cleanse and to regulate the system. So they are, simple juices that we can use. Apples are pretty resourceful. I live in an area where there's apple orchards everywhere, and they're in abundance. Lemons are pretty abundant as well. You can find those. Basil is really easy to grow. It's an herb that you can keep a year round in your home. So really simple ingredients in which we don't need a lot of knowledge, a lot of skill in doing, to where we can just incorporate these everyday basic resources into our life and into our health.
And so in this really trying time, I'm wondering how Asheville is making accessible foods happen there. I know here we have a lot of really amazing people on the ground in food banks and food delivery, and also there is a project here called the Portland Fruit Tree Project. So there are fruit trees planted all over the city. And so I was just wondering, in terms of accessibility in your location, or just in this, like just thinking about new ways to implement this kind of living and lifestyle in the South, especially, taking away from what's going on in a progressive city like Portland, and how to make these kinds of things accessible so we're able to enjoy this.
Yeah. Asheville is, very progressive in its food activism and how it provides these resources. So right now I know there are a group of farmers that are providing their ingredients, their food at, I think it's AB Tech, a few times a week. And it's just a group of local farmers that are coming there and that are providing resources for individuals that want to still get these whole foods that might not be readily available in the grocery stores right now. Because the grocery stores, a lot of people, I know I was having a conversation with my father who's back in Ohio, and he said, well, Joy, the grocery stores aren't going to close. And I said, well, we really don't realize that a lot of our food comes from other countries in grocery stores. So if they aren't able to ship here, what's going to happen with that source? So a lot of the local farmers in your area should definitely be coming together and providing not only just their food that they have grown, but also teaching classes, providing, workshops. Yeah. So that we can learn how to continue to grow and to farm for ourselves.
And so how can folks at home kind of settle into these shifts or integrate and flow during this time, especially through your gifts, through the healing arts of Kemet?
I have several online forums. Right now I'm steady trying to produce more because I know this is going to be the shift to be online. I have a Facebook group, Maatic Flow Yogis, where I get on there and I teach a lot of the, the yoga classes. I'll just give information on different spiritual downloads that might be coming to me, as well as provide a forum where people can kind of share what's going on with them and their experience. I have my website, Kemetic Arts 24.space, where I have the booklets available. I have booking times where you all can, consult with me, and different readings that we can do for health, for wellness, for that path and destiny, all of those forums. Sure, some other things. I have a couple things coming up in collaboration with some other healers as well. I really suggest people tune into the subscribe to my email list, which is on my website, Kemetic Arts 24.space, and I just push out as much information, whether it's local things going on, and some things that I might have going on in collaboration with others as well.
Great.
Those resources.
Awesome. And I was wondering too if you could talk a little bit about your the actual art part, the Kemetic Arts. I'm actually wearing the ankh that you made.
Yes, beautiful.
You can talk about this because it's copper, pyrite, orgonite, peacock, or gold, I think.
Yes. So the ankh itself is representative of life. It has the parts, the top part, which is the feminine energy, and the other pieces, which are the masculine energy. So in combination of recognizing that balance as well. Those pieces, when they are combined into that resin mode, it actually creates this orgone energy, to where it helps protect from electromagnetic frequencies, from the cell phones, from the electronics, all the things that's going on. So that's a really good things to have around the house right now, as we're trying to combat any of, yes, beautiful, oh yes, as we're trying to combat any of these outside things.
Much lately, so I was like, ooh, I have to bring out the things that
exactly. Yeah, they really help to harmonize. So different ones, like I saw that pyramid is probably a chakra, so that's all body, all aura. Yeah, completely balances from the crown to the root. And then the ankh there has different properties in which resonate with abundance wholly. So that, yeah, just providing that energy as well. So the Kemetic Arts was how I first started, as well, in combination with the yoga. But it was how I also needed to be able to express some of my some of my talents, but as well as get out some things. We are creators, and a lot of times if we are compressed, if we are stressed, and we're busy, we aren't able to really tap into, what's going on within us, as well as to create something even, greater. So yeah, that was one of the ways in which I started to express that, is through my arts. Always been an artist, but really this brought everything together. Yeah, so my crystal art is another way in which, I share this energy, in which, it's part of the Kemetic science, as well as, utilizing those natural energy and resources and putting them to use for our healing.
Yeah. Awesome. So I was wondering if you'd be open to taking us through a few of the Kemetic yoga poses, and describing what they are and why they're important and how they generate healing, or whatever kind of comes to mind.
Absolutely.
I thought I would to people if you want to do a quick flow.
Okay, sure. Let's make this smooth transition this way.
It's still morning time here.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So we are going to start with, I guess we'll start with putting the toes together. We're going to put the big toes together and spread the heels apart. We're going to relax the knees, bend them a little bit. Bring the shoulders together at the back, opening up the chest, and bring those arms straight down the sides. Beautiful. Allowing that breath to flow. Now, when we breathe, we're going to breathe from the lower part of our abdomen. We're actually going to do the reverse of what we're used to doing, because we're going to inhale and we're going to fill up our abdomen. So let's practice that. We're going to inhale. Great. Pause, hold it for just a second. And on the exhale, we're going to bring in and contract the abdomen towards the spine. Good. Exhale. Pause. Great. So there are 4 parts to that breath. We're going to inhale, pause, and exhale. Pause. Great. What this breathing does, keep breathing, is it integrates the mind and body. It aligns us with everything that's going on. It really centers us into our body. This also lowers the blood pressure. It slows down the mind. When you breathe this way, there's really nothing else you can focus on but the center of your breath. As we inhale, pause, and exhale. Pause. Beautiful. On the inhale, bring those palms to face out. Good. And let's inhale up and around the body. We're going to create this auric space of protection, of love, of harmony, of balance all around the body. Imagine yourself charging up this bottle, this bubble here. Pausing. And on the exhale, go ahead and bring the head back, expanding, opening up the lungs, allowing more breath to flow. Good. On the inhale, bring the head back in between the arms. Pausing. And on the exhale, exhale down and around the body. Again, charging. Love, balance, peace, and harmony all around the body. Beautiful. We're going to bring our hands into a light fist. Imagine that you're holding little creatures, butterflies, into the palm of your hands, keeping that balance. Bring that fist down to the side. We're going to shift the weight here onto the left foot. And we're going to inhale the right foot up. Good. Bring that foot to the knee. And on the exhale, we're going to extend that right leg and step it forward. Beautiful. Staying here, releasing those butterflies. Bringing the palms back towards the front. We're going to inhale up and around the body again. Exhale. This is reminding us to continue to march forward. Pause. Exhale the head back. Us above, so below. Giving thanks for the support of our guidance of our ancestors. Inhale the head back in between the arms. Exhale, and this time we're just exhaling our arms halfway. Beautiful. We're going to bring those palms to face forward. And we're going to inhale the arms into 90-degree angles. We like to represent the sacred geometry that happens in Kemet as well. Having strong, this is the posture of Ka. Ka represents the spirit. Inhale. Beautiful. And on the exhale, we're going to rotate to the left. Balancing on the left side. Inhale. Looking forward, just the head, looking forward over the right arm. Good. Exhale. This is helping to regulate our thyroid. Inhale, head back center. And exhale, looking back over the left. Beautiful. On the inhale, go ahead and rotate the head and the body back towards the front. Good. Looking towards the front, we're going to imagine that we have this big ball of light and we're going to inhale it into our center. Beautiful. And exhale, bring it back up. Staying here, pause. Let's go ahead and stay here. Inhale, this represents the obelisk. Sometimes we see these like in Washington State at the monument, the MLK monument. This is actually an Egyptian symbol, a Kemet symbol, which brings the masculine energy from the source directly through into the ground where we stand. Beautiful. Staying here, inhale, and exhale, head back. Inhale the head back in between the arms. Back of the hands together, and again, exhale, pausing halfway. Extending in all direction. Imagine here that you are holding the scales of Mayat. Bring those palms facing forward as we inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and twist around to the other side. Beautiful. Inhale, bring those arms into 90-degree angles. Ka, balancing on this side. Beautiful. Inhale. And exhale, looking towards the front. Inhale, hit center. And exhale, looking towards the back. Inhale, rotating the head and the body back towards the front. And exhale, bringing that light energy back into the heart of peace, harmony, health, wellness, love. And inhale it up. Always sending and redirecting the energy up and out. And exhale, head back. Inhale the head back in between the arms. Back of the hands together. And slowly exhale. This time exhale all the way down around the body. Beautiful. Go ahead and bring that back leg up and right beside the other. Beautiful. You will continue this practice on the other side as well. That is part of the sequence of Mayat Ka, which represents balancing the spirit and harmonizing the body and the spirit in alignment.
That's amazing.
Part of the practice, yes.
Beautiful. That was just amazing and much needed. I really was looking forward to this morning. Thank you. Because it's been a stressful week and I just needed some time too this feels like personal time to myself as well. So hoping people who get to watch this later at home also feel the same. So I would love to continue checking in if you're open and available to it. We can discuss that in a little. And just again, state your name, preferred pronouns, your business. We'll link it all below. And yeah, if you have like a PayPal or anything to support through donations for this Kemetic Flow session, I would love to.
Yes, we'll do. Beautiful.
Great, Joy. Well, peace and love to you and to everyone who's tuning in at this time. And again, we'll link all of the contact info for Joy Maatic below. And you guys stay tuned and stay blessed.
Thank you. Peace.